Okay, YouTube, it's time to return to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is my second album review of theirs, and that is the Californication album. So this came out in 1999, and it was a vast album that had 6 singles off of it. Each of them had pretty much well above modest success. Songs like Scar Tissue, Other Side, and Californication definitely anchored the album. It went 6 times platinum in America and lasted from summer of 1999 to about the spring of 2001 as far as promotion. So, like I said, it was pretty vast. Something of note, one of the big things of note of this album was John Frusciante, who was the guitarist of of Red Hot Chili Peppers, who left after the album, their 1991 album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. This was another vast album, but it seems almost distant between 1991 and 1999. A lot can happen in 8 years, and so John Frusciante left in during their tour in 1992 and had some problems and came back in 1998 to work on this album. Now, really, this is pretty good just because the crew was here and they were able to get back to business, and it just was a smash. This is probably one of the albums. I think I like this one more than I liked Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and Rick Rubin had a lot to do with this album. He kind of worked with the Beastie Boys for a bit too. I'm starting to progressively know him better. And well, let's get to the singles. So the out of the 6 singles, 3 of them at least hit the Billboard Hot 100, and the rest of them, except for Road Trippin', charted. And so Scar Tissue, this one feels very close to post grunge, but it's also alternative and a little bit of funk thrown in. And the difference between Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're larger than a regular alternative metal band. I mean, a lot of their albums have gone multi-platinum, so it seems more like alternative rock is kind of the thing there. So obviously I do appreciate this, but it did not take as long to get used to this time as it did on last year when I reviewed Blood Sugar Sex Magic. The Scar Tissue is a real brooding song, but it's not the most brooding of these songs. Despite the fact that these charted so well, they almost feel like depressing, which I do enjoy. I don't mind the fact that's the way I look at it. That's how I perceive it. But when paying attention to this, the hook is obviously, they're real good at doing those hooks. They've charted numerous times. So obviously Scar Tissue is an easy song to find and get to know pretty well. Another one of those is Other Side and Californication, but we'll get to that. Around the World was the second one, and this one's kind of a rap rock song, which I was almost aware that they did this, but I didn't realize that they did. So that one is it's kind of similar to the song Give It Away from their 91 album. And I mean, I like songs like this because they don't really do metal that much, but they do rock. And this is about as close as it feels like they got to actual metal on the album. So I do appreciate these kind of outgoing type songs. They do it at least 2 more times besides this song. Other Side is, progressively more brooding than Scar Tissue is. And this one has another pretty much sing-along type song that I think is going to get stuck in your head if you don't know this already. And all 3 of these singles are hits. Each of the singles is a hit, so all 6. It's hard trying to review this album because any album that has 6 singles should basically get a score of 8 or above, but we're going to cover that. And Californication was the song I liked best on this album. It really sounded like post-grunge, something I'm used to Creed doing, something I'm used to a couple other groups like Three Doors Down and Nickelback type stuff. And of course, they excel at doing this. I'm glad that it was so simple to do because that one was just an ace. Road Trippin' was an acoustic song, which I wasn't expecting, but I did like them doing it. Most of the time, I do not like acoustic songs, but I did actually enjoy this one. So that one is probably a real scare, but also pretty well put together. And then the sixth single is Parallel Universe. So that one is kind of similar to Around the World, and I didn't, that's yet another hit. I mean, it kind of charted, but I think by that point it was like, we need to wrap up the promotion for the album, but it's an extra sixth single if you're interested in actually getting six. So between all that, as far as the rest of the album stands up, the other 9 songs, I did wind up liking an additional 3. The only real problem I had trying to figure out the rest of the album songs was I was looking for more metal type songs, but then I also appreciate alternative rock, and I'm starting to like that more. But the thing is they do a couple rap rock songs like Get on Top and I Like Dirt, but they just don't stand as well as Around the World does. So I know they can do it. They've done it since 1991 at least, but I mean, Parallel Universe and Around the World are the best versions of the rap rock songs. I don't know, it just felt kind of shoddy in comparison to those songs, but I do like having those moments on there. And I was looking for a clone of Californication, but I think Scar Tissue and Other Side were close to that. But really, I think that they could really do post grunge pretty well. So I was looking for that sort of thing. And there's a couple other aces on here like Purple Stain, which I think that one's actually another song like Around the World. So that one did that pretty well. And Easily is another upbeat song. So yeah, they do have those moments. It's good because Red Hot Chili Peppers is able to cover upbeat, mid-tempo, and slower songs and actually nail it. If you've ever had bands where it's like, well, I like the fast songs, but I hate the slow songs, or vice versa, it seems that they're able to handle, each of these categories. So I do respect that. It's a good skill to have. And all right, we're gonna review this now. So I'm gonna tell you the 9 songs that you need to hear. I wound up liking 9 out of 15. So Californication, Around the World, Parallel Universe, Scar Tissue, Other Side, Easily, Road Trippin', Purple Stain, and This Velvet Glove. Now, pretty much all the singles are easy to access, and the rest of the 3 songs I mentioned, really, just the complaints are not many. I think just shaving off maybe 1 or 2 songs, and that would have been about it. Obviously, I know that they can handle doing 15 songs. Don't think I think that, but I don't. It just felt like it was somehow not having one good thing. It's tricky to describe, but yeah, I guess it just feels as if like a couple songs like Porcelain and Right on Time just lack something. But yeah, so the social score is going to get basically a 10, which means how well it plays around your friends. 6 singles can't be matched, and really, there's meat to this album. There's layers, so you don't have to worry about that. And I think most folks are not going to even pay attention to most complaints. It's just one of those albums that's going to soar, but somehow, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of being meticulous, and there's not really no reason for that. So I'm gonna give this album an 8.5, as if it matters, and the social score, like I said, gets a 10, and yeah, so the future Red Hot Chili Peppers dropped an album in the summer of 2016, and I'm kind of looking forward to hearing some more singles off that because they're only on their third single, so it's we're kind of wondering what's going on. And can this record be topped? Not in terms of promotion, maybe just in terms of maybe one or two extra hits on here. But all right, subscribe for more fun.